give testimony for or against this issue, please sign in the pad on the podium there.
Okay.
Magic power. Ready to go? You folks in Lakeview Planning Council all ready to go?
Yes, I am.
Would like to reopen the hearing into the urban growth boundary amendment proposed by Red Rock Biofuels. The record is open, the hearing is still open. At this time, I would be prepared to take any additional public comment, either verbal or written or both. Anybody wish to testify in this matter, for or against?
What matter are we testifying in the Red Rock Biofuels?
I'm sorry, sir?
I didn't hear you on what you're doing.
Yeah, it is. It's the Red Rock.
Okay.
You're up, Scott.
Is their conditional use permit even still in line?
No, it's not, sir.
Yes, it is.
No.
What significant construction's been done down there?
So, I can get you all the information I have on that, and I believe I already have in my office. Did we
Yeah,
not?
but what significant construction has been done on site?
So, what construction, they've been working on all their permitting processes
That's not
that they have to go through,
construction.
which our legal counsel and I have discussed, which is legally binding on this project. That condition in there is something that is kind of a standard condition, which I took kind of from our zoning ordinance. Our zoning ordinance calls significant improvement or financial obligations towards the project. So it was my original land use approval, and similar to that before. I mean, you can certainly, go on with that further, that argument, but I've approved, our legal counsel has sustained that I approved an extension of their project, which if no construction had occurred, an extension can be granted. The email that you've seen that we've discussed before shows that they were asking for an extension, having not followed through on any actual full construction prior to their the 1 year that was given for their land use approval. I wish you would have told me you were going to ask me this question. But
I knew when I walked through the door I was gonna ask this.
no, that's not, because we've already discussed this in my office, and so I thought it was a closed issue. Because of my legal, and I've showed you that legal counsel and I have discussed this. So
Well, I'm not
they
sure it
asked
was
for
legal.
the extension before the year was up, and I granted them an extension, which also stated that their permit was valid under the certain conditions which I spoke of, which are substantial financial obligations towards and the other permitting processes that they've gone through. So, I mean, you can, continue to bring that issue up, but as for the county's level, that's a closed issue, and it is a granted and authorized
By
land
you
use.
solely, correct?
Yes, absolutely,
Okay.
just as it was before, so.
Huh? No, they're not ready for that yet. And,
So
does this,
what we're approving and working on right now is the urban growth boundary.
yeah, okay, well, that's my next question. Is that gonna affect me at all in any
Which has nothing to do
way?
with your first question. And we're in the middle of it, and you're welcome to about 18 pounds of paperwork if you want to get a copy from Darwin, and to absorb it and make a written submission, because I wouldn't try it without knowing what you're talking about, because it's very complicated. And there's a huge amount of information put in by people opposed and people for an extension or a change in the urban growth boundary of the city of Lakeview.
Does your deal affect my property at all right there with your urban growth boundary? Do I have to be in it?
No.
No.
And it's not being proposed, that's not part of this discussion, to include your property in this urban growth boundary adjustment.
Just wanted to know. What?
comments, verbal or written? I would like to draw both committees' attention to the submission from the Craig Law Center dated today. Added to the record. It goes on for quite a few pages. I have no particular comment on what it had to say, other than it'll be added into the record. It is my understanding that Red Rock Biofuels requests additional time to respond to the first 20 pages that you saw last week, plus these several pages here, 6 more pages that we received today. And if you've waited, as committee members have waded through the 20 pages, plus you're going to wade through these, you'll see that having some time for Red Rock would only be fair for them to respond to the arguments made by the Craig Law Center. That, however, what I would like to propose is to close this hearing if there are no other public comments or input, and to leave the record open. That is to say, we won't take any more testimony from the people assembled here. The record will remain open until May the 10th. That gives Red Rock and any other interested parties, yourself included, sir, members of the press, anybody else who has questions or submissions, can submit them in writing. Once those are in on May the 10th, they will be dispersed to the Lakeview Planning Committee and to the Lake County Planning Commission. I would like to also propose that once we've had the whole 7 days to absorb the responses that come in, especially from Red Rock, that we reconvene this matter on May the 17th at 8 p.m. I'm leaving, we start at 6 here, but I'm leaving it at 8 p.m. because we have 3 other matters, regular land use matters to consider first, and I don't want the Lakeview Planning Committee to have to sit in the hall or in the back of the room and try and be quiet while we're considering these other land use matters. It's certainly not fair to you. So I can't make an amendment myself, or a motion myself, but I'll...
Point of order, have you guys actually opened yet? I don't believe you have.
No.
So you guys may want to discuss what Meredith is talking about right now. If we try to continue this as a joint meeting, you guys may want to have that discussion if those timelines kind of fit with your schedules, or...
Do we keep the chair that we had last week, or the true chair?
Oh my goodness. The real chair, the chair, the vice
Yeah,
chair.
you're last
I'm
week,
so-
so-
I forgot who it was.
Yeah.
Would you like to open our portion of the hearing?
Okay.
Or-
Yeah, I'll go ahead and open the Town of Lakeview Planning Commission meeting at this time. And do we have any discussion from the Lakeview Planning Commission on the proposed timeline?
So
I'm good with any date, personally, so.
the records to remain open till May 10, and then we meet on the 17th at 8, did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, that's what was
Yes.
Proposed?
discussed so far.
I won't be here.
I think I'm just checking the moment.
I'll be in South Dakota.
All right.
Gordon makes sure to gone.
Of course, I know you can't do the meeting without me, so.
I should be, yeah.
Phone in. You can phone in.
We don't do phoning. We're not into the modern technology.
So Darren, if we had some questions for the applicant, can those be responded if the hearing is closed and only the record is left open?
You'd have to reopen the hearing to hear from the applicant again. So if by closing the record on the 10th, that officially makes all submittals need to be turned in by then, and then the decision that you guys both collectively or individually will make, but in a joint meeting would then have to.
Darwin, even though the record's closed, I think the planning commissions can actually inquire of the applicants information that, questions that you may have. Don't we usually do that? We close the public hearing and then you deliberate. If you have questions, you sometimes have to ask of the applicant additional information.
You can get some clarification on our legals on that.
We do, as a
Maybe it's
practical
not
Yeah, I
matter.
know we've all
proper,
done
but
that.
we do.
Yeah. Typically, we've opened the hearing back up temporarily just to get that testimony.
That may be
but-
easy to do.
But again, by opening it, then you have a chance for anybody to also speak further against it, I guess. It's a good question. I think, just as staff for the county, I'll just weigh in on this a little bit, is that, Red Rock and I continue to be in conversations and since we last met, I did have a conversation with them and as staff, discussed how much time they would need to respond. I thought they would have something by today, but there is also more that has been submitted as well, which they have a copy of. And they're certainly going to need some time to rebut this as applicant and then for us all to look at what they submit to us as their rebuttal. So the 17th as would still be as proposed the night that we could meet. This is the second now edition that Craig's sent to us, the main opposition to this matter, and they've certainly had the record now for a time. I don't know if we'll get more information from them or more. John Williams will make an appearance again on the 17th, if that's the meeting date we go to.
As long as they get notified that the record deadline is May the 10th,
Yeah.
so they don't feel left out of the process from either commission. But you, the Lakeview Planning Commission would feel more comfortable
No, and that's.
if you had somebody from Red Rock to answer questions.
Are you talking about between the 10th and the 17th or on the 17th?
I can't hear you, sir.
Are you talking between the 10th and the 17th or on the 17th?
On the 17th.
I would think that,
Nobody's
yes,
here.
it would be very important,
I'm sure
vitally important.
I'm sure they'll be here, but we can certainly Darwin can impress upon them that they must be here.
I would say that's vitally important, yes.
Would that be sufficient to be able to ask your questions on the 17th, or do you want to?
And given the rebuttal from, that we received last week, I had some questions of the applicant to provide additional information, to provide a rebuttal to that, so that would help.
So,
Okay, Janine, are you asking for them to be able to answer between the 10th and the 17th? Or here on the 17th answer?
Be here on the 17th.
Okay,
to answer.
yes.
the other thing you could do is, if you have specific questions, is put them in writing and send them to them as an email, and have them be prepared to answer those questions on the 17th.
I would direct, those comments to staff, and then staff could ask them, but any contact, obviously, that you guys would have with Red Rock would be, contact that should come collectively as a board.
I think that's what I meant.
Yeah. So, just having said that, with both of you guys really wanting to hear more testimony from the applicant, it'd be best if you left the hearing open, so continue the hearing to that time and date certain, and obviously this location. And request possibly that everything is submitted in writing, all testimony is submitted in writing by the 10th. But if something comes in last minute on the 10th of opposition, Red Rock's gonna need more time to respond to that as well, so.
Yeah, I
We
would-
obviously couldn't respond to something they've never seen on the 10th.
Yeah.
Until the 10th.
We've been very patient, both commissions have, but I think we don't want to get nickel and dimed to death, that every time somebody waits till the last 4 minutes, and, but have an exception here, thinking that, I guess we can only be fooled so many times and then we won't pay any attention, so that's why I would like this record remaining open until May the 10th for written submissions. If they want to attend on the 17th and say something additionally, that's fine, but no more written submissions. If somebody shows up with another 20-page diatribe on the 17th of May, we may say thank you very much, but I don't know how much how much attention will be given to it because of the manner of introduction, that somebody is just trying to encumber somebody or something is trying to encumber the process more than is democratically feasible.
So what, do we need a motion or something to move this along? Nobody's gonna ask, you got something, right?
Lakeview, please go first.
I'm sure.
So you can ask for a motion.
I would entertain a motion at this point.
I will second that.
No, I need a motion.
Motion to close.
To continue the hearing to May 17th at 8 p.m.
With all written submissions.
May 10th.
So the motion is to continue the hearing till the 17th with all written submissions submitted by the 10th. Is that my understanding of the,
I would agree with that.
is that my understanding of the motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? The motion is passed.
Thank you very much. If you don't have any other business, you can close your portion of the meeting, and then we'll get on with our part and wrap this up.
And we'll close
Motion
the-
to adjourn?
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
This only take a
Motion's
second,
passed.
so don't go anywhere. Can I have a motion, please, to close the hearing, but to leave the record open until May the 10th, and reconvene the next planning commission meeting, May 17th at 8 p.m.
So moved as stated.
Seconded. Mr. King, seconded. Call the roll, Darwin.
Yes.
John? Julia?
Yes.
Meredith?
Aye.
Mike?
Yes.
The hearing's officially continued for all those in the audience to the 17th. We, request that every written submittal is here by the 10th, which is a week prior to the meeting. Thank you all.
So
8 o'clock here.